Welcome to Dodgers Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. Fans, today we have a very, very, very special guest joining Dodgers Daily, infielder for the Dodgers. Cameron Decker joins Dodgers Daily. So, hey, Cameron, thank you so much for joining.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be on here and chat it up.
Okay, super excited to talk to you. And you know where I'm going to go. Whoever you talk to over this offseason, the first question they're going to ask is the game in early August. I think it's like August 3rd. 10 RBIs, 6 hits. The 10 RBIs was a franchise record for the Quakes. I think Kenny George that day had 5 hits, and he was like nipping at your heels. You guys were going back and forth. Take us through that day.
Yeah, it was a fun day for sure. I think however long I play this game, I'm going to remember that night forever. It was really cool. And, having Kendall in front of me, watching him do what he was doing, it wasn't really in my mind. It was kind of just another game and trying to have good at-bats. And by that last one, I kind of just blacked out. I don't really remember anything. But no, it's really a credit to my teammates, too, to be able to have the opportunity with that many guys on base. I mean, you only get so many opportunities to have that. So I think it's a big credit to them to even give me that chance to do it.
Fantastic. And that wasn't your first experience of having absolutely gigantic games. Your first 3 at-bats of your senior year of high school, you saw 4 pitches total and hit 3 home runs. Take us through all that.
Yeah, it was a cool deal. Going into your senior year, you want to have a good year. And to start it off like that, it was kind of funny because it's obviously a great start, but you're like, I can only go down from here, right? No, but it was really cool. It was 6 homers in my first 3 games, 3 in that first one. So it was definitely a good start, and it was a fun year for sure.
One thing that's very impressive about you is how you stay center. It just seems like your approach seems to be very centered to center field, maybe even the right center field gap. So we'll get into that a little bit more, but I bring that up to say, let's take you back to, I believe it was April of 2023. You get your first professional base hit. It was a liner to right field. It was for an RBI and all that. You finally got the lid off. You got your first professional base hit. Tell us about that smile on your face when you hit first base.
Yeah, I think I was 0 for 14 up until that point. So I was definitely pressing a little bit, frustrated. So, to see that first one land and just kind of that relief of like, okay, now I can settle in, start hitting the way I want to and get this journey started. But no, it was cool regardless of how I got there, though, for 14. Just to get that first one out of the way as a minor leaguer, it's pretty cool.
Do you remember what pitch it was or who the pitcher was or anything like that?
Yeah, I was like a fastball middle away. That's about all I remember, but yeah.
So you're back in Indiana right now, right?
Yeah, back home in Indiana, Evansville.
So had you ever been to California before you got assigned to the Quakes?
No, I had not. Growing up, I think the farthest I went to is like Las Vegas, which is decently close, but no, I've never been to California. And it was pretty funny too, because that first off season, I went out to a trip to the Big Sur with my girlfriend and her family. Yeah. So got to experience that and how beautiful it is up there. But no, that was the first time I've been to Cali.
Did you ever have that moment where you're standing on base or you're standing in the middle of the field and you look around and you see the mountains and you're like, man, I'm in the middle of California playing baseball and getting paid to do this? I mean, really? I mean, did you ever have that moment?
Yeah, definitely. I think I had a couple of those moments, honestly. Yeah, it's pretty cool because growing up playing ball in Indiana, and then having to go all the way out there and chase your dreams, it's something you definitely have to stop and take it in.
Yeah, so I mean, you had a grandpa that was, I believe, played in the Reds organization. You had a dad that was a quarterback and a first baseman. You had a brother that was really good in sports. You had an uncle that was also, so you had a family lineage of this. And so talk about just growing up around people that understand athletics as well as the people you got to grow up around.
Yeah, I think it starts with the person side of it. They're all really good people. Yeah. And kind of molded me into that. And obviously the baseball side was there. My grandpa making it up through the Red system, playing with Pete Rose.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was roommates with him in spring training. So he has a lot of Pete Rose stories. and really just how he played the game.
Wow.
And sharing that with me really motivated me of like, all right, this is how I need to go about my business when I play the game of baseball. And so carrying that up through my whole life, and obviously having a good support system around me has really helped. But yeah, my dad's done so much for me. He had some arm problems. That's the reason he didn't continue it. But yeah, he's pushed me and motivated me. Grandpa, I've had a cousin that was drafted by the Cubs, Jeff Goldbach.
Nice.
So yeah, having that around definitely makes all this a lot easier.
So, I mean, the way that it's been put with your high school career, I mean, during a period of time, especially your junior and senior year, especially your senior year, I mean, you're like the Barry Bonds in the sense that, hey, we're not going to pitch this guy in, right? So you mentioned your first hit was a fastball away. That had to be something you were very comfortable with, because I can't imagine a whole lot of high school pitchers challenging you on the inside part of the plate because you had so much power. So did you have to learn how to hit on the outer part of the plate because of that?
Yeah, I think going into my senior year, I was really comfortable with where my swing was. So it was more like, how can I get the most out of my approach and what I'm looking to do each at bat? And honestly, like I almost had to think right field foul pole, because obviously here in Indiana, like the arms aren't amazing. You're anywhere from like 80 to one game you might be 92, but it's pretty rare. Like you're kind of all over the place. So having that approach, thinking right center, honestly keeps me in the zone for a longer period of time and is able to keep me off the off speed, or keep me on the off speed pitches, to hit them out to left field or wherever.
Another big part of it is, I'm sure most high school kids didn't want to challenge you at all, so they tried to throw pitches that looked like strikes and tumbled out of the zone or whatever and tried to get you to chase the zone because they didn't want to throw you a strike. So you probably had to learn plate discipline pretty early too, didn't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, I had a lot of walks my senior year, which, like, honestly, you would think it'd be frustrating, but honestly, I was fine with it because it's setting my teammates up behind me. We had a good hitting squad, so it didn't really bother me. But yeah, I think that's something I can even grow on to going forward. You've seen with the Dodgers, in the World Series, I think obviously pitching helps, hitting helps, but like having that plate discipline makes the job a lot tougher for those pitchers. And you see how well they do. I think they led the league in it. So having that going forward is definitely a key focus for me.
No doubt. Necessity is a mother of all invention. And so having to do those things because you were forced to, I would have to think, help make the transition from, I mean, that's a big, big jump from Indiana high school baseball to professional ball, which is what you had to do. So as talented as you were, as good of an approach that you had, thinking right center, having great plate discipline, it had to be a big jump to pro ball for you, right?
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. It's something you have to settle into, and just takes experience of getting used to elite arms every single at bat. But you settle in, you adjust to it, and it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. It's good competing. Like, it's awesome.
A couple of things on both sides of this. You mentioned that jump to professional ball, and every single day, every pitch is a professional pitch. Like you mentioned Indiana, you might get a 92, but then the next day you'll have like a 76, right? So you kind of get some relief from that, but not in professional ball, right? So did you ever have a moment sitting in California by yourself, all halfway across the world from your parents and everybody that loved you in this support group? Did you ever have that moment where you're standing there going, dude, I'm never going to get another hit ever in my life, right? All baseball players had that moment. And then did you also have that moment where you go, hey, man, you know what? I'm good enough to do this, right? That eureka moment. Did you have those moments?
Yeah, I think part of baseball is not getting too high and too low.
Yeah, right.
But that's easier said than done. So, yeah, there's times where you're like, I don't even want to go up this game. Like, hopefully I don't get another at bat here. I'm not feeling good. But there's also those other games where it's like, man, I'm feeling good. I'm seeing it well. Like, please give me one more at bat. So I think it goes both ways. You kind of just have to ride that even line as much as you can.
Yeah, you had a home run. I think it was early September. I think my post was, I think it shut down the entire power grid on the West Coast because, I mean, it was just an absolute bomb. So I say that to say, do you have any favorable like BP rounds to where the ball was jumping, you were feeling good, you were just hitting bombs? Do you have any specific BP round that you remember like that?
I think just that last stretch of the season there, Blake, our hitting coach in Rancho, he kind of just got to the point where he's like, screw thinking right center, like just try and hit this ball as far as you can to left
Absolutely.
field. And so that was kind of the approach those last few series, and I liked it. It felt good.
Yeah, that is absolutely awesome. Tell us what you remember about draft day, where you're at, your parents' emotions, and all your emotions, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, draft day was definitely interesting for me. Being down at UCF, we had all the summer freshmen where we were down there on campus already.
Yeah,
So
you had committed to UCF, University of
yeah,
Central Florida, and already reported early and were on campus, correct?
correct. Yeah,
Yes.
down
Okay.
there in Orlando. And so draft day 1 and 2, I knew I probably wasn't maybe late day 2 guy, but I was probably day 3 guy. And my family wasn't down there, so it was kind of just me by myself chatting with them, obviously. And I went the route with no agent, so it was kind of just me and my dad going back and forth with teams. So that was definitely something that we like had to work through and stuff, but that was just our decision. I do have one now, but at the time I didn't. And on day 3, yeah, I had a good chance that I knew I was getting drafted, and got the call from Mitch Shulowitz. He was the area scout there. And yeah, it was super exciting. My roommates at UCF at the time were super happy for me. And obviously the parents and everybody was super thrilled.
Yeah, you didn't play. Obviously, you never played at UCF. You reported early. You were on campus getting ready to start your freshman year. But another player in the Dodgers organization who really ascended through the ranks, made it all the way to AAA, had a fantastic year last year. Alex Freeland played at UCF. Have you had a chance to talk to him and exchange stories at least about the campus there in Orlando?
Yeah, definitely. I was honestly the first person that I reached out to
Okay.
when I got drafted, because I knew he was there and that he got drafted obviously by the Dodgers. So that was a good resource for me to kind of understand what his time at UCF was like, and definitely helped me make my decision for sure.
Yeah. So I've had a lot of people ask me because it's like you just burst onto the scene here in your first professional season in 2024. Well, who is this Cameron Decker kid? I mean, this kid's impressive. Where did he come from? And I kept telling people, well, he had a hand injury, and I'm not exactly sure how the hand injury happened, but I know he got off to a good start in 2023, had to shut things down. And I always tell him as soon as I get a chance to talk to him, if I ever get to, I'll ask him about it. So you got off to a good start in 2023, your first professional season. Then you have a hand injury that shuts you down. And so talk about that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of something that was frustrating for me. You go that whole off season preparing for a long year, and to have that like injury pretty early on in the year was tough. But it gave me the opportunity to kind of get a good perspective on this game and be grateful for it. And going back to Arizona, when I was rehabbing there, I was with my roommate, Logan Wagner, who was
Oh,
also
yeah.
dealing with an injury too. So we kind of got to battle it together. And it made it a lot easier having somebody else to go through it with you. And then rehab was great. All the staff is so good with that. So it kind of set me up to prepare myself for a good 24.
So you grew up playing shortstop. You were probably going to play shortstop, at least some shortstop at UCF. You get to the Dodgers, you hurt your hand. Now all of a sudden you're playing first base. You're playing a little left field. So the Dodgers love creating versatility defensively with their players, especially ones that have a bat like yours. So talk about the versatility. Do you like that, or would you rather be a shortstop?
No, I think it's a good thing for sure. You obviously somebody like Chris Taylor, being able to play multiple positions the way he does. But yeah, growing up playing shortstop, playing basketball, playing football, I always felt like I was an athlete, being able to move around. So I think in the long run, it's going to help me that I played shortstop my whole life, even though I might not play it in the future. I think it was definitely necessary for me to be the best baseball player I can be. And whatever gets my bat in the lineup is what I want to do.
Once you got to the Dodgers, they have more analytics and they have the best instruction in the world. Did they make any adjustments to your offensive game or your swing mechanics?
Yeah, swing wise, something early on that we worked on was just kind of my bat path. I was definitely wristy in high school and growing up. I had good hands, but like sometimes too much. So just working on that swing path and be able to stay in the zone longer, giving me more opportunity to hit. was something that they focus on pretty early on. Lower half, obviously, you work on it. Something that's kind of just you keep an eye on. You do certain drills to make sure you're in the right spot. But I would say swing path is the biggest thing.
You obviously had an incredible end to your very first full professional season in 2024, so you brought a lot of momentum into the off season. You mentioned you're back home in Indiana, but tell us what goals you have, what are you doing, what's your routine, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm back here in Evansville. There's actually a Dodger guy, Tyler Norton.
Okay.
He lives here in Evansville, so getting to train with him has been huge. We work out 4 times a week, getting it after in the weight room right now. Took some downtime hitting wise after the season, but just picked it up last week. So slowly working back into the hitting. And yeah, I'm pumped for the next 25. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Ready to get after it for sure and see what happens.
Did you get to meet and talk to Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw, or Joe Kelly?
I got to a little bit with Joe Kelly and Buehler, and CT was really cool.
Yeah, oh yeah, Chris Taylor was there. Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Okay, so what things right now do you feel like you're doing well enough to be a consistent major leaguer, and what things do you feel like you need to work on the most?
Yeah, I think I displayed my power pretty well over really just the second half of the season. So when I play a full year, I'm hoping that I can show that power tool off, and I've always had that, so I hope I can continue to do that going forward. I definitely want to cut down the strikeouts. Like, this game is tough. Like, pitchers are good, but you don't want to get yourself out. I feel like there's some strikeouts where you just get yourself out. So it's like, how can I minimize that and make the pitcher really reward those strikeouts? And then defensively, I think I played a decent first base, but I just want to like improve that as much as possible, to just add that tool. And next year I want to steal some bags. That's another.
Oh, you want to steal some bags like Freddie, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. That's hey, you need to get with Kenny George and to have him teach you how to have 80 grade speed, right?
Exactly. I'll take some of that somehow.
Okay, that's all the business I got for you. So you ready to answer some fun questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so my first question is, what is the funniest thing that has happened to you recently?
Okay, let's see. I would say World Series, Game 1. I'm watching it with one of my buddies. He's a diehard Yankees fan.
Oh, fantastic.
So that was awesome. He was giving me crap all game, and then Freddie hits that walk-off. It was so fun to see him. So sad.
Oh, that is absolutely awesome. Too bad for him. Yes, yeah. Good for us Dodgers fans. Too bad for those Yankees fans. Yeah. Okay, your dad graduated in 1992, if I have my information correct. I graduated in 1991. So I know for a fact that you listened to a hell of a lot of 80s music when you were a kid, right? Okay, so I guess my question is, how much 80s music did you listen to, and do you like it?
Yeah, I enjoy 80s music. My dad, he's played a good amount, definitely growing up, but he's also adjusted. So he's kind of went on with the times too,
okay.
And has adjusted to Zach Bryan and guys like that now.
Okay.
So yeah, he does a good job with it.
What kind of music do we got here?
I like anything. I like country. I like rap. I like it all.
That's awesome. That's kind of how my playlist is. Sometimes I'll be in class and I'll be playing music, like on a day we're doing quizzes, and like it'll be all over the place, and the kids are like, "Dang, man!" It's like it's like Hank Williams Jr. and then it's all of a sudden Metallica, like back to back. Right?
There you go.
That's absolutely fantastic. Okay, so what is one thing on earth not baseball related that you don't think you could live without?
Yeah, I would say 2 things. One would be my Bible. I wake up and read it every day, so it's the truth, and it helps me in everyday life. I would say the Bible. And then 2 would probably be my phone, just for the fact of music. I love music. I listen to it pregame. It just keeps my head in a good space, and I would say those are my 2.
Walk-up song, what is it?
This year it was Walking on a Dream.
Oh, nice. Yeah. What's it going to be next year? Do you know yet?
Not sure yet. We're going to have to figure it out.
Do you even know the genre? I mean, what type of genres are we going with here?
I think I'll start country probably next year.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, Thunder and Rain's a good one, by the way. It's very
That is a good
original.
one. That
Yeah,
is a good
that's
one.
a really good walk-up song. So I suggest that if you ever, at least one time, right?
I'm
Okay,
happy.
so yeah, if you could be best friends with any character in a movie or a book or anything like that, a TV show, what character would that be you'd be best friends with and why?
I would say if you could put my like 14-year-old self in the Sandlot, I would do that. I would do that.
Oh, a 14-year-old Cameron Decker playing baseball in the
In the
Sandlot
Sandlot. Yeah.
with Benny the Jet?
There you go.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. That is absolutely awesome. Okay, so my last question here, my last fun question here. I asked this of every single player that's ever played for your wonderful manager there at Rancho Cucamonga, John Shoemaker. Okay, have you ever seen Shoe? They call him Shoe. Have you ever seen Shoe out of uniform?
That is a rare sight to see. You know, the only time you'll see it is on an away trip.
Yeah.
But even then, it's very, very rare.
You can wake up in the hotel and like it's 5 o'clock in the morning. He's eating breakfast in full uniform.
He's got it on. He's got it on.
That
He's
is awesome. Yeah. So talk about Shoe and all the coaches at Rancho and how they helped you make that transition.
Yeah, it was such a fun year with those guys. Shu, Blake, the hitting coach.
Yeah.
Even the Walter, the strength guy, and Aki, the trainer, pitching coaches, Coin. Like those guys are awesome. They make your days a lot easier and funner. And it's a long season, so you got to get along with those guys, and they do such a good job of relating to the players and making it an environment that you want to get better while also winning some games.
Yeah. Hey, did you get to see the 104 from Ronaldo Yeen? Were you on the
did.
field when he threw that?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It's unreal. I mean, he's a freak for sure.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun to watch. It's electric stuff.
Yeah, you got to see Edgardo too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Early
was
in the
pretty
year.
incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah,
You guys
yeah.
had some power arms, didn't you?
Yeah. I think at one point last year when I was in Rancho, the Quakes had the third highest
Yeah.
average velocity in all of baseball, which
Yeah.
it was pretty cool to watch.
You're standing there going, man, I'm glad I'm with the Dodgers so I don't have to face all these guys that are on my
Exactly.
team, right?
Exactly.
Okay, Cameron Decker, man, we've talked about your village of people that have influenced you along your way. This is your chance to say thank you or any kind of final thoughts.
Yeah, you know, my mom and dad have always supported me. They've been awesome, Libby and Chad. And then, you know, my brother, we are as close as brothers can be. Cole, he's at Indiana baseball right now, so he's doing a great job there as a freshman. Just thank
Oh, really?
thank you to,
Nice.
Yeah. A big thank you
They
to
got a
those.
pretty good football team, by the way.
They do, 10-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah, just really grateful for them and all my support system. And thanks to you, big thanks to you for inviting me on here and getting
Yeah.
to talk. And I appreciate it. Dodgers, I'm happy to be a Dodger. I can't wait for the future.
I got to ask you, I can't let this go. From Indiana, your brother's at the University of Indiana playing baseball. You guys have to be Kyle Schwarber fans, right?
Oh yeah, we've been Indiana fans our whole life, so we're big Kyle Schwarber fans.
You remember that World Series team that he was on?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Cameron Decker, this has been a wonderful honor. I've been wanting to catch up with you ever since I've been watching you hit those light tower home runs, your 10 RBIs, and then just the start of your career to begin with. So, hey, this is a big honor for me. This has been a whole lot of fun. So thank you, Cameron Decker, for joining Dodgers Daily.
Thank you so much for having me on. I look forward to talking in the future.